The reason that we're here today is because the defendant in this case, Charlie Adelson, hired a hitman to kill his former brother-in-law, Dan Markel. This murder was set into motion because back in 2014, the defendant's family, the Adelson family, had a big problem. And that big problem was Dan Markel. And the solution to that problem was this defendant. This defendant was the solution to that problem because he had a girlfriend with connections to the type of people who were willing and capable of pointing a gun at a complete stranger and pulling the trigger. The victim in this case was known as Danny to his friends and family. He was a loving father to 2 little boys. On July 18th of 2014, Dan Markel was shot twice in the head in broad daylight in the driveway of his home in the Benton Hills neighborhood here in Tallahassee. Wendi Adelson asked the court to allow her to move back to Miami, where she was from, with the kids, in order to be near her parents, Harvey and Donna Adelson, and her brother. Dan Markel was adamantly opposed to his children being relocated to Miami. He wanted his kids to live here with him. The judge ended up ruling in Dan Markel's favor. Donna Adelson's closest confidant was her son, the defendant. He was the person with whom she would constantly vent and complain to about Wendy's situation. This was a highly emotionally charged situation between them leading up to his death. The murder of Dan Markel ensured that an adverse ruling on his motion would never be a problem for the Adelsons. Rivera told law enforcement that he was hired by Sigfredo Garcia to help kill Dan Markel. Catherine Magbanua, the mother of Garcia's children, secured this job for them, and it paid $100,000 with Rivera's third, and that the money was packaged in a very unusual way. The money was in stacks of $100 bills, and the money was stapled together. Y'all will hear that the defendant had access to a lot of cash. The defendant had a very unusual practice of keeping the cash in his safe in $1,000 stacks of $100 bills that were stapled together.
The murder of Professor Markel was his 2 boys, the nephews of Charlie Adelson, lost a loving father. It was inexcusable, despicable, evil. You will see that Charlie Adelson had nothing to do with the murder of Professor Markel. Charlie Adelson is innocent. I have great respect for the prosecutors and law enforcement on this case. It paid off. They got the 3 killers. They convicted them. Sigfredo Garcia, convicted for life. Luis Rivera, Catherine Magbanua, convicted for life. The state saw no connection between these people, so from the very outset, the state suspected the Adelsons, the family. It wasn't limited to Charlie Adelson. Unindicted co-conspirators in this case, the state has said it, Wendi Adelson, Donna Adelson, Harvey Adelson.
I quickly got up to see what might have caused that noise. I looked at the driver's side window and it was busted out. I said, "Danny, what happened?" And there was no response. And I hollered out again, "Danny, Danny, what happened?"
What did you learn in the investigation about the relationship between the victim and his ex-wife, Wendi Adelson?
They had gone through a very contentious divorce, which even after the divorce was finalized, they still had several issues that they dealt with through the court system.
Is that a fair and accurate copy of Wendi Adelson and Dan Markel's divorce file?
That's correct.
From the clerk's office here in Leon County?
Correct. There was going to be a 3-way payment between Donna and Harvey Adelson. We're going to pay 33% of it. Charlie Adelson would pay 33%, and then Wendi would pay the other 33%.
All right. And what was the total amount of this potential bribe?
$1 million.
As part of the investigation in this case, did you also investigate the day of the homicide and his routine or activities that day?
We did.
And what did you learn about his schedule that day?
That morning, he had custody of the kids that day, of his two children, his two boys. He took them to daycare over off of West Tharp Street, dropped them off around 8:50 a.m., and then drove to Premier Gym.
Was there any surveillance images captured outside the gym that showed the vehicles coming and going from there?
Yes, there was some exterior cameras on the gym itself.
And did that surveillance, were you able to identify from that surveillance which vehicle was Dan Markel's vehicle arriving at the gym?
Yes, we were.
Okay, and was there another vehicle that appeared to be a suspect vehicle captured in this video?
That's correct. It was rented by Luis Rivera.
So you were saying there was a Facebook post or a Facebook account linked to this phone number with a photograph of Sigfredo Garcia as the owner of the account?
Correct. It was labeled Tudo Day, but it was a picture of Sigfredo Garcia.
And throughout the course of your investigation, have you come to know Tudo Day or Tudo as a nickname for Sigfredo Garcia?
That's correct.
And does anybody else on this State's Exhibit 59 have a nickname?
Yes.
Who is that?
Luis Rivera is also known as Tato.
Okay. Did you conduct any investigation into Catherine Magbanua and her employment status around the time of this homicide?
We did.
Right. What did you learn about her employment status?
Shortly after the homicide, I believe it was about 2 months after the homicide, she became employed with the Adelson Institute.
All right. What is the Adelson Institute?
It's a family-owned dentist practice in South Florida.
All right. And did you go to the Adelson Institute?
I did.
Did you attempt to subpoena employment records for Catherine Magbanua at that business?
Yes, I did.
All right. So when you went in there, Catherine Magbanua was not physically present there?
She was not.
Okay. Was she still receiving checks at the time that you went in there?
Yes, I believe she was.
Okay. And did the employees in there seem to know what she did there?
No, not at all.
All right. Were you eventually provided with some documentation from that business?
Later on, yes.
What is State 60?
It's a list of checks that were issued to Catherine Magbanua.
And is this exhibit the complete information that you were provided by the Adelson Institute in response to your subpoena for the entire employee file of Catherine Magbanua?
Yes, this is it.
Performance evaluations or anything like that?
Nothing.
Okay. And over what period was she being paid according to the records that were provided to you?
I believe it started in September of 14 and went through
March 31st
March.
of 16?
That's correct.
And so those payments began about 2 months after the homicide?
Correct.
You're aware that the relocation motion was denied in June of 2013.
Right. Correct.
I like to call it the grandmother motion. Can we call it that?
Sure.
Somewhere in that big binder, there's a litigation back and forth with Miss Adelson and Professor Markel regarding money.
Yes.
And at some point in the course of a motion that Wendi Adelson filed, Professor Markel files a motion back, and that's when he seeks to have only supervised visits of the kids with Donna Adelson. That's the motion you were talking about with Ms. Kappelman, correct?
Correct.
Ma'am, please say and spell your name.
Wendi Adelson, Wendiadelson.
Where are you from, Ms. Adelson? Did you know Daniel Markel?
Yes.
How did you know him?
We were married.
At the time he was killed, you two had children together, yes?
Yes.
And how many children did you have?
We have 2 children.
Whose decision was it to separate?
It was my decision.
Did you move out of the marital home while Mr. Markel was away on a business trip?
I did, yes.
All right. And did he know that you were moving out when he left for the business trip?
No, he did not.
Where did you go when you left the marital home?
I rented a home in Tallahassee. Eventually, we had a 50-50 shared custody arrangement.
And is it fair to say this was a contentious litigation process that you had with your ex? You were looking to relocate with the minor children. Who is the close family in South Florida?
The close family would have been my mom and my dad and my brother.
And which brother is that?
My brother that's here today.
Charlie Adelson?
That's correct.
Okay. What's your mom's name?
My mom's name is Donna.
What about your dad?
My dad's name is Harvey.
And where did Donna and Harvey live back in the time frame between 2012 and 2016?
They lived at the home I grew up in Coral Springs.
And what kind of a relationship do you have with your parents as we sit here today?
I have a good relationship with my parents.
Can you describe the relationship that your mom has with your boys?
I think it's very loving. After Danny's death in 2014,
How much time was your mom spending with the boys?
we were all living together at that point. So my dad was a dentist, and my mom used to coordinate, kind of be like an office administrator at his practice.
And did she write the checks at the practice? Paychecks?
Yes.
Did you discuss your marital problems with your mom at all?
I did, yeah.
Okay. What about the resulting legal issues? Was your mom read in on those things?
I definitely updated her about the results of the relocation when that petition got denied.
What about your brother? Did he take an interest in the ins and outs of your divorce?
No, not really.
Did he need to protect you from Dan Markel?
No, I don't think I need protection.
Right before that, it reads, however, the rest of your life and consequently Dad's, mine, and yes, even Charlie's will be affected by how well you can perform/act before July 31st. You need to be a good actress when you can be a good actress when you want to. I've seen you in action. You need to put on the performance of your life. Jibbers hasn't beaten the Adelson family yet. Who's Jibbers?
Jibbers, she's referring to Danny.
Okay. So in this, again, your mom is referencing how everyone's life is being affected by this relocation, including your brother, Charlie.
I don't think she's controlling, but she's definitely overprotective.
Okay. And would your mom sometimes enlist your brother, Charlie, to convince you to do certain things in your personal life?
Can't really think of an example of that.
If she's really upset about something or worked up about something, is that something that your brother, Charlie, is going to hear a lot about? Who's going to hear more of it, you or Charlie?
Well, if my mom's upset with me, probably Charlie. And if she's upset with Charlie, probably me.
Who talked to her more, you or Charlie?
Charlie.
A lot more, right?
Yeah.
At the time of Dan Markel's murder, were your parents extremely angry with Dan?
At that point, no. They were in a much better place. Yes, ma'am.
Says Ms. Adelson, my parents are very angry toward him. Is that true?
Was that
Isn't
true?
that what you said? Your parents were very angry toward Dan.
Can I read the rest of the sentence?
Sure.
So I say, my parents are very angry towards him, but even when they're around my kids, they would never say a bad word about my kid's father.
Didn't you say, it's like my parents have more reason to dislike Danny than almost anyone else? Is that what you said?
That is what I said.
And that's because he hurt you, right? Right. And who did you tell them might be responsible?
I told them many, many people.
You told them your family might be responsible.
Or
didn't
potentially
you?
someone to do with a former student or his current girlfriend. I mentioned lots of people that I thought could be responsible.
Okay. And of the lots of people that could have been responsible, your family was one.
Yep.
Because they might have done this thinking it would help you. I mean, that's what happened, right? Family had your ex-husband killed to try to help you, didn't they?
No, that's completely untrue.
Back to the divorce, the petition where Danny is responding to your petition for the motion to relocate. Are you familiar with that filing, or do you
You need to take a look at it.
In this filing, doesn't Mr. Markel say, quote, the husband affirmatively alleges that the wife helped herself to non-marital assets, including money and stocks owned prior to marriage, as well as numerous personal non-marital belongings of the husband, such as luggage, bicycle, tennis racket, and family heirlooms. The wife has refused to return these items or to allow the husband into her home to see what other personal belongings were taken without his permission or acquiescence. He's accusing you of theft in this paragraph.
Those are the words that are here, yes.
Yeah, and he's very adamantly objecting to your relocation, right? On page 82, it says the sole stated reason the wife seeks to relocate is so that she can be closer to her parents. Was being near your parents the sole reason that you wanted to relocate?
No.
But he was accusing you in these pleadings of all kind of stuff, right? Hiding financial assets, failing to disclose things, kidnapping his kids in the middle of his business trip, all those sorts of things, right?
Yes, you said lots of things.
There's filings going both ways that are pretty venomous. Would you agree with that?
I would not agree with that. Mine were not venomous.
Okay.
He was really angry at me for leaving him.
Okay. So he didn't really want to limit your mom's visitation with the kids.
No.
And
He
that's
asked for her to
evidenced.
babysit after he filed that.
Evidenced by the banana bread. And so she didn't even know about that filing.
She never knew about it.
Okay. And when she laid all those options out in that email to you about other options that you could take to secure the relocation, as far as bribing, remember that? Converting the Christian children to Christianity, remember that suggestion?
I sure do.
What did she put in there that she viewed as your most non-negotiable and most important part of your divorce? What was the most important part?
Of the divorce for my mom.
Yes.
It says here that for her it was relocation.
All right. And did you have 2 8-hour mediations in your divorce?
We had 2 very long mediations.
They
Like a very
result
long
in a
time.
resolution?
No. Or,
Did your mom call Dan any disparaging names around this time frame?
well, I just read them in the emails.
Page 5.
Okay. Is it page 5 from the first email?
Yes, if you'll just go through by the physical pages.
I see. Yes.
I'm sorry, what was your answer?
Yes.
Fucker?
Yes.
But in all the filings made on your behalf by the different lawyers that you had, and all of the emails that your mom sent, he was never described as abusive.
I mean, he was described as emotionally abusive, yes.
And you said, I think you did say this, but let me clarify, was your mom aware of the order denying relocation?
My mom was aware of the order denying relocation.
And what about your brother, Charlie? Was he aware of that as well?
I'm
if you
sure
know?
my mom would have said something to him.
All right, so did your mom suggest any ways that you might coerce Dan Markel to let you move with the kids to South Florida?
Yes, talked about that before.
We did, and for this I'm referring back to those emails, and in particular, the bribe. So another bribe to get him to allow relocation. I'm on page 5 of the first email for the defense. Another bribe to get him to allow relocation should be the offer of plane tickets so that he can fly back and forth, right? Is that the idea?
I never said that I was going to do any of that. That's right.
All right, and are you closer to Charlie or to the other brother?
I'm closer to Charlie.
Was your brother known to carry a lot of cash?
He had cash on him sometimes. I never saw large sums of cash.
Was your brother Charlie protective of you?
When I was a little kid.
What
yeah.
about as an adult?
As an adult? Not particularly.
Is it fair to say that during the year or so leading up to the murder of Dan Markel that your brother did not like your ex?
He probably didn't like him, but I also think he didn't spend a lot of time thinking about him.
Did he ever like him?
They got along fine.
Did your brother ever mention hiring a hitman to kill Dan Markel?
No.
I'm going to turn your attention to your law enforcement interview, and I'm referring to page 25, lines 13 through 15. Did you find it?
Yes.
Quote, "It was always his joke. He said, I looked into hiring a hitman, and it was cheaper to get you this TV." Is that what he said?
That was a joke that he made, yes.
And hiring the hitman, that was to kill Dan Markel, right? That was the joke,
Yes.
not to kill someone else.
No. He never used his name.
Well, you repeated the joke, didn't you?
He repeated the joke.
Didn't you also repeat the joke?
To other people?
Yes, like Jeff Lacasse.
I never said that to Jeff Lacasse.
You didn't tell Jeff Lacasse that your brother got you that TV as a divorce present because it was cheaper than hiring a hitman.
I may have repeated that joke in the context of the TV, yes.
All right, and who is Jeff Lacasse?
Jeff Lacasse was a person I dated in 2013.
And did you tell Jeffrey Lacasse shortly before the actual murder that your brother really had looked into hiring a hitman?
I did not.
Did he buy you
The TV as a divorce present?
Yes, sorry, I should have
Yes.
clarified that. And was the TV that your brother bought you as a divorce present the same TV that was being repaired on the morning of the murder?
Yes.
Did your mom text you that morning that the repair guy was coming to repair the TV?
I don't remember that.
Why would your mom have been involved in your TV repair appointment?
Because I didn't purchase the TV. The TV was a gift that my brother paid for, but my mom went and got it and he reimbursed her. So the repair guy was coming. They may have called or texted the number on the account instead of my number.
Okay. And after the murder, do you recall going to a dinner where you got sick at the table?
It was about a month later, and yes, I remember.
Where did that dinner occur? Was that here in Tallahassee or somewhere else?
No, it was in Miami.
All right. And was it out at a restaurant?
It was at a restaurant.
All right. And when we say you got sick at the table, did you actually vomit at the table?
I threw up at the table.
All right. And did you ever hear your brother refer to that particular dinner as a celebratory dinner?
No,
Did you tell Jeffrey Lacasse that your brother called that a celebratory dinner?
I did not.
Was that a...
One moment was Kelly.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely not. That dinner was the first time I left my house after over a month because I was terrified. And if it was a celebration of anything, it was a celebration that I was willing to leave the house and eat a meal.
Do you know Catherine Magbanua, or have you ever met her?
I have met her. They dated at some point.
All right. And there's a photograph of you on the beach with Catherine Magbanua. Do you recall when that photo was taken?
I do. It was Father's Day 2014, so 9 years ago.
June 15th of 2014?
That sounds right.
So about a month before the murder?
That sounds right.
All right, is that you in the center?
That's me.
Which one's Catherine Magbanua?
The one on the left, our left in the picture.
When did you learn that Catherine Magbanua was blackmailing your brother for the murder of your ex-husband?
Today.
So he never told you?
No,
You testified in Catherine Magbanua's murder trial last year, didn't you?
I did, yes.
And she was convicted
She was convicted, yes, of murder.
of murdering Dan Markel.
Of murdering my children's
crime?
father, yes.
Okay. Killed your child's father, and you didn't know.
I did not know.
Do you know why Catherine Magbanua was on the payroll at the Adelson Institute?
I believe that she worked there.
How did the killers in this case know that Dan Markel was planning to leave town the day after the killing?
I have no idea.
You knew he was planning to leave town the next day, didn't you?
I did, yes.
Did you convey that information to anyone?
Absolutely not.
To your knowledge, did your brother have that information?
I don't know why he would have known that.
So if the killers were told it has to be done today because he's leaving town tomorrow, we don't know how they knew that. Prior to Dan Markel's murder, when were you last in South Florida? Was it this trip that's pictured here?
No, because it was my dad's 70th birthday in early July, so I would have gone down to celebrate his birthday.
Okay, when's Dad's birthday?
July 5th.
How long were you down there for that July 5th trip?
I don't really remember offhand, but my guess is about a week.
Did you see Charlie Adelson on that trip?
Yes. We celebrated my dad's birthday.
Did you see Catherine Magbanua on that trip?
I don't remember if she was there or not.
Did Dad have a birthday party?
Dad had a birthday party.
Was it a big birthday?
It was his 70th birthday. I don't remember there being a girlfriend with him at the party.
All right, so you said the birthday was what, July 5th?
It would have been July 5th.
Okay. Where did you go after the TV repair man left?
After he left, I stayed at the house for a while, and I was working on some pieces of writing. And then I had two friends that I would often meet on Fridays, just kind of last minute. And so we made plans to go have lunch.
All right, so what time did you leave the house to go have lunch?
I really didn't remember offhand, but I refreshed my memory and saw it was sometime around 12:45.
And did you go to the crime scene or very near the crime scene on your way from your residence to, I guess, to lunch or to wherever you were going next?
No, I did not.
So you never turned on Trescott Drive that day?
I went to turn on Trescott Drive, but I saw that it had been blocked off by some tape, so I just kept driving on Centerville.
And when you had to turn around at the tape, right, to go back out?
I think I tried to turn right, and it couldn't turn, so I would have made like the kind of turn, like a K-turn, and kept going.
Was there a roadblock there with?
There was tape.
Yeah, and an officer was there?
I didn't see an officer, but I did see a car.
Law enforcement marked vehicle? Did you have any contact with the officer?
No.
Did you do anything after that to try to find out what was going on down that roadway?
No, I just assumed it was weather, or maybe a tree fell.
Had there been bad weather that day? Where were your kids supposed to be at the time that you encountered that roadblock?
They would have been at school.
And that's at the creative preschool?
That's right.
Who took them to preschool that day?
Danny.
And who was supposed to pick them up from preschool that day?
Me.
All right.
But
did you attempt to call Dan Markel when you encountered the roadblock?
no, I didn't think anything of it. I didn't think it was related to the house.
I asked you earlier about him being scheduled to leave town the day after he was killed. Do you know where he was planning to go?
He was going to New York to see his girlfriend.
Did you talk to your brother on the day of your ex-husband's murder?
I did.
And about what time of day did you speak to him?
It would have been right after the repair guys were there, because that's when I called him to tell him, ask him whether I should get the TV repaired or buy a new TV. So
Okay.
it would have been morning.
How long did you talk to him?
I don't remember.
Does 18 minutes sound incorrect?
That sounds reasonable.
Okay. Did you talk to him about other things other than just the TV?
I really don't remember what else I talked to him about, but probably maybe I would have asked him about his work, or we would have caught up.
Did you happen to mention Dan Markel's plans to go to New York the next day?
I don't see why I would have.
I want to talk about where you went when you left your residence on the day of the murder. You tried to turn onto Trescott, and then you ended up where?
I was supposed to go to a party that night, so I went to a liquor store to pick up what they had asked for as the present for their party, and then I went to lunch to meet my friends.
And the liquor store purchase appears to have occurred at 12:49 based on the receipt. Do you have any reason to dispute that
No,
timing?
that sounds right.
Okay, and then from there to the restaurant?
Yes.
And where was the restaurant located?
Mosaic, I would go north on Thomasville Road.
All
And
right.
so it was,
And is the restaurant where law enforcement came to speak with you and you ended up going with them to the police station, right?
that's correct.
Right. Do you agree or disagree that there have been some financial benefits to you and your boys as a result of Dan's death?
I disagree.
When did you decide to change the names of your children from Markel to Adelson?
So when they started school, I started school with my last name.
Do you agree that you legally changed the kids' names on July 6th of 2015?
That sounds right.
Were you involved in any way in the plot to kill your ex-husband?
Absolutely not.
Did you know it was going to happen, but maybe not know the details?
I knew nothing.
Is that why you went to the crime scene on the day of the homicide?
I did not go to the crime scene on the day of the homicide.
Do you know who all was involved in the murder?
Well, I learned today, but at the time, no.
Okay. Have you ever privately confronted your brother about his role or possible role in the murder?
My attorney has advised me not to have conversations with anyone in my family about the case.
But you had a close relationship with your brother at the time of the murder, right?
I absolutely had a close relationship with my brother.
And how soon after the murder did your lawyer advise you not to talk to your family about it?
In 2016.
Okay, so what about the 2 years in between? Did you talk to him about it then?
I talked to him about the fact that a murder occurred, but I guess I don't understand the question.
But you never talked to him about the suspicions you raised in the law enforcement interview that your brother might have done it.
No, I did not.
You suspected your brother could have been a part of this, right?
I suspected lots of people could have been a part of it.
But he was one of the people. right?
I offered them every possible idea I could come up with.
Right. And one of the possible ideas was that your brother could have murdered your child's father.
I didn't
right?
really believe that was possible.
Was part of the plot for you to be able to have plausible deniability about this?
Absolutely not.
Is it better for both you and your brother if you don't know the details of this?
I don't even understand the question that you're asking me.
When did you first become aware that you might be a suspect in this case?
As the ex-wife, I assumed I was a suspect from the beginning. I just was trying to think of who possibly could have wanted to hurt him.
But you didn't say any of that before. The first thing you said was Charlie, right?
I don't think so.
Page 25 of your interview, line 5 through 15. Do you have any reason to dispute? Page 25, not 5 hours into it. You say Charlie might have done it, right?
Can I see, please?
You may.
What I say here is that he would never do it. Right under the highlighted part, I say, no, he would never.
Page 25, line 5 through 15. My brother, the one, his name is Charlie, the one I'm really close to. He makes a lot of jokes in that taste, and it was a joke he made. He bought the TV for me this morning that got broken, and then I was talking to him about whether it made sense to pay or fix it, or whether I should get a new one. And he knew that Danny always treated me badly, and it was always his joke. He said, I looked into hiring a hitman, and it was cheaper to get you this TV, so instead I got you this TV. And you do say you don't think he would do it, but can we agree you brought up his name on page 25 of the interview?
I did.
When asked, would you ever ask someone to do something like this? You say not in a million years. When asked, okay, do you think someone would do this for your benefit without asking you? You say no. And when Isom starts to ask you what good does it serve, you say, my brother, the one, his name is Charlie. Isn't that how it went? Do you want the culpable parties held accountable for murdering the father of your children?
Absolutely. I'm grateful they're already in jail.
But not if it's your family.
It's not my family.
Somebody hired him, right?
Not necessarily.
Somebody paid him. You didn't want him held accountable if it was your family members. Didn't you tell law enforcement that?
That's not what I told law enforcement.
What did you tell law enforcement?
I told them that the person who did this should be held responsible and that I had nothing to do with it.
Page 122, lines 7 through 12. If somebody tried to kill my ex-husband, they should be prosecuted to the full extent of the law. The investigator says regardless of who it is, and your answer is, it would be different if I thought it were my brother.
But I don't think it was my family, is what I say.
Different now, isn't it?
No, it's not different. That's exactly
different
what I
today,
said
isn't
right
it?
here. No, that's not
No
right.
further questions. Please introduce yourself and spell your name.
My name is Jeffrey Lacasse, Jeffrey Lacasse.
How are you employed, sir?
I'm an associate professor at Florida State University.
Did you have a relationship at some point with Wendi Adelson?
I did.
What was that relationship?
We started dating in the fall of 2013, September 2013. We dated casually in the fall and more seriously in the spring and summer of 2014.
When did the relationship end?
That's a little tricky, but basically July of 2014.
During the time that you were dating Ms. Adelson, Mr. Lacoste, when we broke, we were discussing a statement made to you by Wendi Adelson on July 13th, 2014 at her residence here in Tallahassee. Do you recall which statement?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, and what was that statement?
After asking to speak to me confidentially, she told me that last summer that Charles Adelson had looked into all possible options to take care of the Danny Markel problem, including hiring a hitman, and that it would cost about $15,000.
And this statement was made within 5 days of Mr. Markel's murder by a hitman?
That's correct.
And was this said in any way in the context of the relocation issue?
What preceded her saying that was a discussion of under what circumstances could she or would she leave Tallahassee, and she stated that the only way to leave Tallahassee was if something happened to Danny. That's what led into the statement I just repeated
All right.
to you.
Thank you.
The statement was chilling and serious, right?
Yes,
Did you go to the police?
I did not.
You were so scared about the statement that you didn't alert the police the next day, that night?
I did not,
Why not?
because it was a past tense statement, and I thought Charlie was a scary guy, but it was about something supposedly he did last summer. No, I did not know there was a present case, a present instant threat. I did not know Hitman had visited Tallahassee. I didn't have the context.
Okay. As part of maintaining the crime scene perimeter, is crime scene tape put up across the road?
Yes,
And did you participate in doing that?
I believe so. Yes, ma'am.
And I think you said it was a couple houses down in each direction is where the tape was placed.
Yes.
And where were you physically positioned?
A patrol car was blocking the roadway.
All right. And were you on the, don't use north and south because that would be lost on me. Were you closest on the side of the scene closest to Centerville Road or closest to the other side of Trescott?
Closer to Centerville.
All right. Okay. And from the roadblock where you were positioned, could you see the crime scene?
Yes.
Do you recognize this vehicle?
Looks like a vehicle that I saw approaching the scene that day.
All right. And this vehicle, are you familiar particularly with the make and model of this particular vehicle?
Yes. 2006 Honda Odyssey. Yes.
And did you know at the time that Wendi Adelson drove this type of vehicle?
Yes.
All right. So you noticed this vehicle or a vehicle identical to this one approach your position?
Yes, ma'am.
And what did the vehicle do when it approached your position?
Just stopped pretty quick and turned around and headed back in the other direction.
Did the driver stop and inquire of you what the activity was at the Markel residence?
No.
Do you know what time of day that was that you observed this vehicle approach the roadblock?
Sometime a little afternoon, probably around closer to 1.
And just to clarify, were there any other roadblocks between where you were positioned and encountered this vehicle and the Centerville intersection?
No.
Please introduce yourself and spell your name.
Good afternoon. My name is Stephen Webster, Stephen Webster.
How are you employed?
I'm an attorney.
Did you represent Dan Markel?
I did. I think it was May of 2014 and until he was murdered.
Still, with the exception of the stupid comment.
Do you know Charlie Adelson? Do you know Charlie Adelson?
I do.
How do you know him?
He's my ex-boyfriend.
And are you aware of a large safe that's there in the residence?
There is a safe.
Did you say, quote, hundreds are like dollars to him?
I did say that.
Did you say that, quote, all of his money is like stapled together, the hundreds in bundles?
I believe I did say that.
Do you need to review the statement? Has anybody tried to tell you what to say here today?
No.
Has anybody...
Just myself.
Has anybody told you to forget what you said in that interview? Did anybody instruct you to do that, is my question.
No.
Professor Markel was murdered in 2014.
Right.
Did you know Charlie Adelson in 2014?
No.
You didn't start dating him until, I think you said, give or take, October of 2015, right?
That's right.
Okay. So any type of feelings he had about the murder of Professor Markel in 2014, you wouldn't know anything about that, right?
Right.
Ryan Fitzpatrick, RyanFitzpatrick.
Where do you live, sir?
Lantana, Florida.
And what line of work are you in?
I'm in roofing now.
Okay. Do you or did you at some time have a relationship with Charlie Adelson?
Yes, ma'am.
Were you guys friends?
Yes, ma'am.
What time frame were you close friends with Charlie Adelson?
From about the time that I moved to South Florida and around about 2012, and then as years passed, we grew a lot closer.
All right. And so you don't like the guy anymore? Fair to say?
I'm not a big fan, no.
Were you here pursuant to a subpoena?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. What is your name, sir?
Luis Rivera.
Mr. Rivera, where are you from?
Miami. I'm Puerto Rican, but raised in Miami.
All right. And I see you're wearing a jail uniform. Have you been convicted of a felony?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you currently incarcerated?
Yes, ma'am.
are you serving a sentence for both this case that we're here about and also a federal case?
Yes, ma'am.
And I say job, is that what this murder was to you?
Yes, ma'am.
So your motive for coming to Tallahassee and participating in this murder was money?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you know Dan Markel?
Nope.
Did you know anything about him?
Nope.
All right, so do you know how Garcia came to know about this murder or this job?
His girl,
Who's that?
Katie.
All right, so am I correct that Katie hired Garcia and Garcia hired you?
Yes, ma'am.
And who was to actually come to Tallahassee to do the murder?
It was me and him.
You and Garcia?
Yes, ma'am.
But not Katie?
No.
So she stayed in Miami?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, and who was to get the money once the job was done?
Katie.
All right, and did she get the money?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you know where she got the money from?
Yeah, the people.
Who are the people?
The dentist. I called them the dentist at that time.
The dentist?
Like Wendi and her brother.
Catherine Magbanua, Katherine Magbanua.
Are you currently in custody?
Yes, ma'am.
What are you in custody for?
The murder.
And is that the murder of Dan Markel?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so did you know Dan Markel?
No, ma'am, I did not.
What was your motivation for becoming a part of this murder plot?
Financially.
Was it a favor to Charlie Adelson?
Yes, ma'am, it was.
All right.
And looking at now the bar graph around that murder line and the cash spike, is there any record of her being employed during that August cash spike where $13,200 were deposited into her account?
No.
So no bar during that part?
That's right.
What about from the day after Dan Markel was murdered, so July 19th, to just the end of August, those 6 weeks, how much was deposited into her account?
$17,300.
And then by the end of the next month, by the end of September, she's on the payroll at Adelson Institute?
Yes, that's correct.
Did you have some involvement in the investigation regarding the death of Dan Markel?
I did.
As part of the investigation, did you interview a witness by the name of Jeffrey Lacasse?
Yes, ma'am.
An issue was raised regarding the timeliness of a particular piece of information that he reported to you.
Okay.
This item relates to the defendant, Charlie Adelson, characterizing a dinner out with his sister Wendi after the murder as a celebration dinner. Are you familiar with this item that Mr. Lacasse gave to you?
Yes, ma'am.
Did Mr. Lacasse mention anything about this celebration dinner during your interview with him?
He did. So we looked at his frequency report, and at the very top we had this number that ending in 1312, clearly communicated with a significant number of times by Mr. Garcia.
And who did the 786-1312 number
So the
belong to?
1312 number was Miss Magbanua.
Okay, and how was she linked to Charlie Adelson?
Again, looking at her frequency, or who she communicated with the most, we see her second most frequent contact was a number ending in 9223.
And who did that 9223 number belong to?
That was Mr. Charlie Adelson.
Sir, how were you employed back in 2016?
Special agent with the Federal Bureau of Investigation.
When you say you were posing as a Latin King gang member, did you announce yourself as a Latin King gang member to the person you approached?
I did not.
In character?
That is correct. So I was instructed to do the bump or do the contact with Mrs. Donna Adelson. This was in the Miami area. Well, my instructions were to approach her and engage her in some type of conversation and to hand a flyer or a piece of paper to her.
Your role was to pretend to be a member of the Latin Kings, right?
Latin King gang, yes.
Okay. And you handed Donna Adelson a flyer?
I did.
And you and your team accidentally didn't make a copy of that flyer, right?
Well, my role in the investigation was to be the undercover. That was handled by the investigative team.
But the flyer wasn't made. No one kept the original, right? Now, when you saw Donna Adelson, she told you that you scared her, right?
She was startled.
How were you involved in this idea?
Not super involved, but help. And I will pay a third of that $1 million. And when Wendi one day starts making real money, if she's able to, I want to be paid back.
Charlie, you like to talk a lot, right?
Yeah, I knew I liked to talk, but didn't realize how much.
When you got involved in this $1 million offer, would you talk about it with others?
Yes.
Did you ever talk with Catherine Magbanowa about that $1 million offer?
Yes, I did.
And what do you remember telling her?
She was asking me about, doesn't your sister want to move back home? And I said, yeah, we tried everything we could. We even offered Danny $1 million to move back to South Florida, and it didn't work.
How did she respond?
She was like, wow, that's a lot of money. She's like, you got to take out a loan for that? And I said, no, I got cash I can pay for.
Do you recall making a joke that buying her a TV was cheaper than hiring a hitman? Something to that effect.
Yeah, when I gave her the TV set as a divorce present, it was the stupidest thing I ever said in my life. And I said I was going to get you a hitman, but the TV set was a lot cheaper, so I went with the TV set instead. And I said it as a complete joke, and it was stupid, but I do that a lot.
Did you make that joke to others?
Yes.
Did you make that joke many times throughout 2013 and 2014?
I made that joke when she was having problems and she was fighting and she was upset.
Did you ever say that joke to Catherine Magbanowa?
Yes, I did.
Just to be clear, did you ever look into hiring a hitman?
No, never.
And we've learned through this, about July 1, 2014. And just kind of to give you a roadmap, in March, you had dinner with your sister, correct?
Yes, at Yarborough.
And we've learned that at that dinner, Sigfredo Garcia thought about killing you.
Yeah, he was stalking me with Luis Rivera.
And we've learned through this trial that a first attempted murder on Professor Markel's life happened, give or take, 6 weeks later.
Yes.
Now let's talk about July 1, which is about 3 or 4 weeks after that. What happened on July 1?
We started driving out of her complex, and we got about 100, 200 feet, and this blue car comes flying out of nowhere, flies in front of us, and slams on the brakes. And I've got a car, and I'm towing a 1,200-pound jet ski behind it. And she started screaming, "That's T." And I'm like, I almost rear-ended this car. And this guy gets out of the car, and he comes over, and he's screaming every kind of four-letter word at me, threatening me. His face was real red. My windows were up. The guy was going crazy. He then got in his car, chased alongside of us, rolled his window down, was screaming all this stuff at us. And when we got to the light, it was just turning yellow, and I gunned it. And I remember making a left-hand turn. And I said to Katie, I go, "That guy's nuts." And she goes, "Nuts? He's really calmed down." And I go, "What do you mean he's calmed down?" And she goes, "The old T I know would have broken your window and dragged you out into the street and beaten your ass." She came in through the garage, entered into the kitchen from the side door like she always does, and she just looked panicked and upset. She walked straight in and gives me this big, tight hug and asked me, "Are you okay?" And I said, "Yeah, just a horrible day." But she looked more upset than I've ever seen her. "Are you okay?" She said, "No, I'm not. Just come sit down. I need to talk to you." And she said, "Listen, this is all my fault, but I had no idea anything was going to happen, but this is totally my fault. I spoke in too much detail about your family's personal problems, about your sister, Dan Markel, and the $1 million offer." "What are you talking about?" "My friend killed Dan, and he wants to be paid $1/3 of $1 million. I was like, "What did you just say?" And she's like, "My friend killed Dan, and he wants you to pay $1/3 of $1 million. I stood up, and I started cursing. "Are you kidding me?" And she's like, "No. Who did this? Who's your friend that did this?" And she's like, "I don't want to say. I can't say." "Who was it?" And she just kept saying, "I'm not going to tell you. Is it Sigfredo?" And she's like, "No, I'm not telling you." And I just walked in my bedroom and sat down on the edge of my bed. And, "Katie, I'm not going to be part of this. I'm not going to be part of paying for a murder. This is insane." And she's like, "Look, if you don't pay in 48 hours, they will kill you." And I said, "Katie, I feel like I'm getting extorted now." She's like, "Look, I'm not extorting you. I got dragged into this the same way you got dragged into this." She's like, "It's my fault for running my mouth the way I did, but I'm not extorting you. I'm trying to help you." what are you going to do? You're going to go to the police? She goes, you go to the police, they'll kill you.
Did she tell you that they would just kill you, or they would also kill other people?
She said he'd come after you, he'd come after the family, pay the money. I said, Katie, I don't have $350,000 in cash. And she's like, well, you have a ton of money in your safe. And I said, Katie, I don't have that much in my safe. I do have a lot. And I took it out in piles and put it on the dresser next to us. And I said, go ahead and count. That's not $350,000.
And did she count it?
Yes, she did.
How much money did she count?
$138,000.
So it wasn't $100,000, it was $138,000.
Correct. And she said, can you go to your parents and get it? And I was like, if I go to my parents, my dad will go to the cops. And she said, well, can you pay $3,000 a month? And I said, yeah, I can do that.
What did she do next?
I'm going to go call my friend and see if this works for him, and I'm going to try to help you out. And she's like, I spoke to him. You can pay $3,000 a month, or you can pay the rest off. The $3,000 a month you're paying doesn't go towards the balance.
Did she spend the night that night?
She did sleep over that night.
What did she want to do?
She wanted to go to the police.
And what did you tell her?
I said, absolutely not. I said, it's not going to bring Dan back.
Did you have any contact with the thugs that were getting your money for 2 years?
No.
Did anybody put a gun to your head?
I was told that I would be killed in 48 hours if I didn't pay up.
Did anyone put a gun to your head?
Did anyone pull a gun on me?
That's what
Is
I
that
asked
your
you.
question? No, nobody pulled a firearm on me.
Were you led to believe or told that the bad guys are outside, right outside your apartment or your residence?
No, but I was led to believe what they did to Dan, they were going to do to me.
Did she say, the car's running, I'm going to take the money out there to him right now?
No, she never told me that they were waiting for me outside my house.
In fact, she stayed the night with you, didn't she?
Yes, she did.
And didn't exit your house with your $138,000 until the next day, right?
Correct.
The text messages that were exchanged between yourself and Catherine McVanois on the morning after this exchange of money were inconsistent with your extortion theory.
They were inconsistent with how I was feeling.
They don't appear to look like you just gave her $138,000 under duress, do they?
She told me the last thing she said to me before she left the house is, can we just pretend like this never even happened? So when I sent her that message, I was trying to show her, I'm trying to forget all about it.
So the text messages aren't what they appear to be.
I absolutely did not go to the gym. I was trying to show her that I was pretending like nothing ever happened and looking past it.
And there's nothing on the wire. All those hours of you talking, there is nothing on the wire about the extortion, this layer 1 of extortion, because she told you not to talk about it, right?
She told me to never talk about anything to anyone or her.
But nowhere, even in the midst of this whole second extortion, it's happening again. It's an extension of the same thing. Do you mention anything about this layer 1 of the extortion? Do you?
Yes, actually I did. If you pull up the video from Matsuri when I was sitting with my dad and I said, and the funny thing is, that's what I whispered in his ear.
Right, but we can't hear that.
Right, because that's my point. I never wanted anybody to hear what had happened. I never wanted the police to come talk to me.
The only time you mention the extortion, it's in a whisper that is not picked up by the microphones, right?
Intentionally, yes.
Yes. But it sucks for your defense, right? Because that would be a huge piece of evidence for you to show this jury, wouldn't it?
No, I think you'd come up with a reason why that I said it anyway.
Sounds like you're saying even if they track down the Prius, even if there's DNA or fingerprints in the Prius, meaning they can link someone to the Prius, that's not going to be enough evidence to make any arrests in this case. Is that what you're saying?
Not at all. What I was saying to Katie is that the information she had just told me in the car about Sigfredo not being there, she told me that Sigfredo was high on drugs at the hotel and that Luis had rented a car and that he's the one who killed Dan. All I know is that Sigfredo wasn't even there when this happened.
That Sigfredo can't be caught even if he's connected to the crime, to the car?
I know that Sigfredo wasn't the one who killed Dan.
Okay. Good for you, because you know now that Sigfredo is the extortionist, right? She just told you that in the car?
Sigfredo, yeah.
Okay. And wouldn't it be good for you if the police investigation into the Prius led to the arrest of the killers/extortionists?
If they arrested the people that killed Dan,
Yeah,
I know the extortion would stop. As long as I kept my mouth shut, I'd be safe.
right. So why are you trying to argue to her that the car is not going to lead anywhere? They're not going to be able to do anything with the car.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that I know that Sigfrido wasn't the one who killed him.
Did you? What would they have to say?
Well, when they catch the first extortion, Katie's tied to them and I'm tied to Katie. They're going to come talk to us, and we're going to be in danger when we tell them what happened.
You gave very precise instructions to Catherine McBanois on what she was to say when she calls the phone number, right?
Yeah,
Did you do that?
Absolutely.
And then you say, quote, "You'd better kill him because he's going to be a big problem. And he knows who you are. If he can't do it, I'll have someone else do it." Aren't you telling her that if Garcia can't handle this problem and kill whoever's behind this, you will have someone else do it?
Reading it totally wrong.
It's a yes or no question, sir.
No, you're wrong.
Do you remember that?
Yes, I do.
You said he roughed her up.
That's accurate.
And that put my antenna up, because that roughed them up is the exact same phrase that Catherine McBanois said in her proffer that you used on Halloween 2013 when you first approached her about, does she know anyone who can rough someone up?
No, I think getting roughed up is an adjective. What you're doing is the same thing you did with your TV theory, is you heard TV mentioned multiple times, so you put the whole case together with the TV.
Okay.
And
I mean, I'm not putting the whole case together.
One moment. Don't speak over each other.
But that's
Please wait for him to answer, then you can ask your next question.
What did she mean when she said Dan Markel was trying to take her sunshines away? Do you know?
My mom never said that.
Did your mom refer to the children as her sunshines?
No, the kids were 3 and 4. A 3 and 4-year-old can't repeat a conversation and remember words 6 hours later and repeat it accurately. I've never seen a 3 and 4-year-old do that, so it was made up, and now you're repeating it.
Can we agree that she obviously knew something about this crime? I'm talking about the murder of Dan Markel. She knew something, right? I mean, it's not a coincidence she went to the crime scene, is it?
She never went to the crime scene. She wasn't driving to a crime scene.
She exposed you all to some degree by those actions, didn't she?
No, not at all.
And then she threw you under the bus in her interview, didn't she?
Nobody knew a murder was going to take place.
She knew her husband had just been shot, and they were asking her who would want him dead, and she said your name. Are you mad about that?
No, she said a lot of people's names.
Are you mad that Wendi hasn't been charged and you have?
No, I'm mad that I got charged for a crime that I didn't commit.
What's the purpose of keeping Katie happy? Was she gonna sick the Latin Kings on you if you made her unhappy?
She was protecting me. I didn't know what would happen. And she was keeping my mind. I thought that she wasn't part of it and she was protecting me.
You're complying with everything they've asked you to do, right?
Yeah.
So why reach out and say, hey, can I get you a trip to Key West to go with that extortion money?
I never said, can I get you a trip to Key West? I was trying to do nice things for her.
And then did you pay for a trip or offer to pay for a trip to Santo Domingo for Catherine McBanois and Sigfrido Garcia to visit his parents?
I didn't know who she was going with, but I paid for it. You're talking about airline tickets?
Yes.
Yeah.
Did you offer to buy Catherine McBanois and her mom a cruise?
Yes, Katie had mentioned to me that she always wanted to be able to take her mom on a cruise.
Can we agree in general that it's important to maintain positive feelings between co-conspirators? If you're a co-conspirator with someone in a crime, you want to keep positive relationship with that person. Will you agree with that?
I'm not a co-conspirator with her.
Were these gifts, these things that you provided to Catherine McBanois and her mother and Sigfrido Garcia payment for the murder?
Okay, I never got Sigfrido a gift in my life. The guy absolutely hates me. He wants to kill me.
Did you receive a text from Catherine McBanois that reads, "Next time, don't be such a dick to someone who has done something for you"?
Yeah, she's protecting me, and she's mad. She's mad at me over something.
Are these gifts what it took to secure her silence for so long?
No, absolutely not. I was never trying to get her silence. I was hoping she'd tell the truth.
If Garcia hated you, why would he drive to Tallahassee twice to kill someone you hated?
It sounds like he was part of the extortion, or Katie put him up to it.
I still don't get how killing Dan Markel advances the ball for them to extort money out of you. Do you?
Yeah, I have a theory. They could extort me for life, and I don't think they knew exactly how much I had in the safe. She knew I had a lot of money in the safe. But this way I could get extorted for life, and that's what happened. And I was stuck paying $3,000 a month.
But you could have gotten extorted for life just by the threat of death by Latin King, couldn't you, Doctor?
This was as real of a threat as you get. These guys aren't messing around.
All right, you didn't report this after Garcia was arrested, did you? Did not report this after Garcia's arrest?
No, not at all.
Okay, you did keep paying Catherine Magbanua after Garcia's arrest?
No, I never saw her again.
Did not report this after Magbanua's arrest, correct?
Correct.
Did not testify in either of their trials?
For sure.
Verdict. Count 1. We, the jury, find as follows as to count 1 of the indictment, first-degree murder. The defendant is guilty of first-degree murder. Count 2. We, the jury, find as follows as to count 2 of the indictment, conspiracy to commit first-degree murder. The defendant is guilty of conspiracy to commit first-degree murder. Count 3. We, the jury, find as follows as to count 3 of the indictment, solicitation to commit first-degree murder. The defendant is guilty of solicitation to commit first-degree murder. So say we all this 6th day of November, 2023.
I would just like to say that I maintain my innocence.
All 3 counts that you were charged with in your indictment, I am going to adjudicate you guilty of all 3 at this time, and you are going to be sentenced as follows. Florida statutes. You are sentenced to life imprisonment without the possibility of release or parole.